becoming everything I chose to be. I am now affirming greater power is in me. I am never running from my own capacity.
On the edge of something incredible, though I feel I'm running on empty. Don't feel sorry, I'm just getting started up. And I tell you I've done it all empty. I'm on the edge of something incredible, though I feel I'm running on empty. Don't feel sorry, I'm just getting started up. And I tell you I've done it on empty. I can't tell you what will work, I can't tell you what won't work. I can share these lessons learned from my emptiness. And I don't know what will go wrong, and I won't dwell on that for long. What I know is that I gotta keep moving, 'cause I'm on the edge of something incredible, though I feel I'm running on empty. Don't feel sorry, I'm just getting started up. And I tell you I've done it on empty. I'm on the edge of something incredible, though I feel I'm running on empty. Don't feel sorry, I'm just getting started up. And I tell you I've done it on empty. incredible, and I feel I'm running on empty. But don't feel sorry, I'm just getting started up. And I tell you, I've done it on empty. And I tell you, I've done it on empty, yeah. And I tell you, I'm running on empty. Yeah.
What's up, everyone? Happy Sunday and welcome to Sunday Sessions. I'm your host, Durante Lamara, and wherever you're watching from today, I'm genuinely glad you're here. Welcome in. We are Bridge City. Now, Bridge City is a global community of people who are committed to connecting better, building better, and living better, free from superstition, coercion, or control. What brings us together isn't belief, background, or certainty. It's a shared commitment to people, clarity, and growth. We're not waiting on the future to imagine better community. We're practicing it right now. We're building bridges to better understanding, deeper empathy, and more honest connection so people everywhere can reclaim their authentic existence and contribute to the world on their own terms. At Bridge City, Sundays aren't about doctrine or dogma. They're about people. So every week we gather as a global community, not to be told what to think, but to think together, to learn together, and to grow together, and to create better possibilities together. Because at the center of everything we do is this conviction: people matter. So whether this is your first time here or you've been a part of this community for a while, welcome. My hope is that something in today's experience gives you clarity, encouragement, or maybe even a little life. And just so you know, Bridge City isn't just online. Our global campus connects people across the world, and we're already seeing local expressions take shape. Bridge City Los Angeles is meeting regularly for monthly mixers, and Bridge City Atlanta is right behind them. I'm planning to be in both cities at the top of the year, and if you're local, I'd love to connect with you in person. If you're new here, head over to bridgecity.app/hello. Everything you need to get started is right there. Introduce yourself in the new member introductions area, jump into the comments, and start a conversation. Community starts when people stop watching and start connecting. And one last note, we see our global family growing. Different cities, different countries, even different languages. Very soon, you'll hear welcome in more than one language around here, because this community truly belongs to all of us. All right, let's get into today's news.
Hi, Bridge City. This is Ashley, your head of community. I wanted to take a moment and drop in and let everyone know what's happening this upcoming week, especially with the holidays and everything else going on. So the first thing I'm very excited about, we'll be hosting a workshop. It'll be called Reason for the Season Moving Forward. So as we get closer to the new year, many of us are reflecting on who we've been, what we're becoming, and what we're carrying forward with us. So we're hosting a guided workshop to help you do exactly that with intention. This isn't a lecture. This isn't a passive experience. Everyone who comes is encouraged to show up authentically and participate genuinely. It's going to be hands-on and honest. It's built around looking back without beating yourself up, noticing your patterns and challenging them, identifying what serves you and what doesn't, and of course, connecting with other members in the community who are on the same journey you are. If you want to close out this year with a clearer mind and a cleaner slate, this session will be a powerful way to do it. We'd love to see you all there. Also coming up, I know you've heard Durante talking about these, are Vision Nights. If you're in the Los Angeles or Atlanta area, here's an update that you need to hear. We're preparing to bring Bridge City live experiences to both cities. Vision Night isn't just an event. It's a moment where we lay out the vision, the structure, and the path for what the local Bridge City campuses will look like before anything launches. If you've thought about starting a local chapter, this would be what you want to go to. We are actively looking for people who want to help shape this from the inside. Builders, organizers, connectors, detail people. If that's you, then be sure to introduce yourself on the global campus. Let us know what city you're in. That introduction is your entry point. And also coming up is our community movie night. Mark your calendars now, because the first Sunday of January, we'll be watching Dogma. It's irreverent, sharp, and it asks all of the right questions in the wrong ways. And Ben Affleck was in it. I remember liking him in this role. So it was a perfect pick for our next community movie night. Come to laugh, think, and enjoy the chaos with all of us. RSVPs are already open. And I would also like to welcome all the new members who have joined recently. We've had a wave of new folks join the global campus lately, and I just want to pause for a moment and say, welcome. We're truly glad that you're here. If you're new, the most important step is introducing yourself. It helps us get to know you, and it helps that you feel like you're joining a real community, not just a comment section. Head to the new members' introductions on the global campus, say hey, and let us greet you properly. Also, if you want to get involved in building a weekend experience, if you're ready to plug in and help shape the Sunday sessions, we have several clubs that are ready to do just that. We have the Weekend Warriors, which has a focus on hosting, stage support, on-the-ground help, the Comms Club, the writing, messaging, scripting, everything that has to do with language craft, and the Production Club, the tech, the behind-the-scenes flow, the creative execution. What up, Zerno? All these clubs turn ideas into reality, and we'd love to see more of you step up and get into the mix. Are you interested in hosting a watch party? If you're thinking about bringing Sunday sessions to your home or your city with a watch party, let us know. We'd love to support you. We can help with planning, promotion, and everything in between. Just introduce yourself on the global campus and, of course, send a message to our team. Okay, and that's everything for the week. Thank you all for sticking around for Bridge City News, and thank you, Durante, for letting me drop in with these announcements. I also wanted to say to everyone, Bridge City grows because you participate, because you show up, because you connect. Thank you for being a part of this. Okay, let's get into today's conversation. Durante?
Wow. Thank you so much, Ashley. That was incredible. For those of you who are just coming in, that was Bridge City News. Welcome in, everybody. Again, Ashley, amazing. Zernial, amazing. I love the way things are coming together around here. I absolutely love our community. It just feels so good. Happy Sunday, all you beautiful people. It's so great to see you all, man. Oh my goodness. I think we're going to have a good time today. Are y'all ready to have a good time today? I'm ready to have a good time today. It is officially the last Sunday of the year. Like officially. This is it. And honestly, I don't think we've missed a Sunday this year. And if we did, I played a video. But this has been an amazing journey. And this last quarter has been just absolutely awesome. And so I am overjoyed. I'm actually in the middle of getting over, like I just keep getting sick. It's the weather keeps changing. It was cold like 2 weeks ago, and this week it's been like spring and summer. It's insane. But anyway, this is our last weekend together as a global community, and it's the conclusion of perhaps one of the most provocative conversation series I've ever led as a communicator. And that create quite a bit of pressure for me. I don't know if y'all understand. You know what I'm saying? Because in one conversation, I have to not only conclude a series, but also close out a year, you know? And my, what a year it has been. I mean, like my, what a year it has been. I mean, like a hell no to the no. What a year it has been. Has 2025, I mean, whether you're sitting on the sidelines just watching everything else happen, or whether you're actually experiencing some things in your own life, has 2025 been a year or what? Again, my, it's been a year, man. But as a community builder, as a movement architect, if you will, I have to be mindful of and prepared for also at the same time a new month, a new year, and a new series that'll help us kick off the new year strong. So we're not holding back. Actually, in January, we're tackling life's big questions in a 4-part series. Y'all don't mind if I fast forward to the future a little bit and tell you where we're going to be next month, so you can go ahead and whet your appetite, get the taste on your mouth a little bit. But next month in January, we're opening the year, a new month, new year, new series. We're starting that year tackling life's biggest questions. That's the name of that series, Life's Big Questions. And we're going to tackle them together in a 4-part series. And this was inspired by one of our community members, one of our global campus members, who lives on the other side of the world. This week, like this morning, I got to talk to 2 of our members, and forgive me for just bragging. It's the last year, it's the last Sunday of the year. And so, I felt so good about being able to open up my Sunday morning looking at messages from Malaysia and Australia, and it's members of our community. Like that's amazing to me that we have members of our community in Malaysia and Australia. Like, I got to figure out how we're going to do Sunday sessions to accommodate for everybody's time zones, man. And so for the month of January, we're going to tackle life's big questions, man. And it's going to be a fun time that very first week, very first Sunday, right before that Sunday at noon. And then, of course, that first Sunday night, we're doing Dogma for movie night. I love to see y'all there. You got to come to the global campus for that. But we're going to open that series up with I'm Safer Than I Thought. And in that conversation, we're walking people through, people who have deconstructed, or people who are living post-religion, or people who've never had religion, but are trying to figure out, how do you deal with life? And you got all of these fears, you got all of these concerns, you got this residual fear from religion or culture. No, we're going to talk about it. That conversation is going to be called I'm Safer Than I Thought. And then the next conversation, we're going to go there and we're going to have a conversation called I Think I Like Who I'm Becoming. You know what I'm saying? And this is about dealing with your identity without anybody else defining it. All right. And then the week after that, it's colloquially known in the Black church as King Weekend. That's the weekend of Dr. King's celebration, King Weekend. So we're gonna platform a conversation that weekend called "What Do Good People Do?" And I promise you that one is gonna zig when you're expecting it to zag. And then we're gonna close that conversation out. And I'm telling you, you're gonna want to be in all 4. But if you miss any of them, don't miss the last one. And it's called I'm Done With Pretending. That last conversation, we're going to be talking about I'm done with pretending, because for so long, so many people define themselves. When you define yourself as a believer for so long, and then you shift to becoming a non-believer, you get tempted to start looking for new things to believe. And so people start saying, oh, what do I believe about this? What do I believe about this? And I'm like, no, don't put yourself back into that same rabbit trail. The truth of the matter is, you didn't believe that bullshit anyway. You were pretending to believe. So the safest way forward is to be done with pretending. So if you want to start the year off strong, start it off with Bridge City. That's all I'm saying there. That's all I'm saying there. All right, are y'all ready to get into today's conversation? Are y'all excited about those? I see some work in the chat. I see some work. I see some work in the chat. I think we're gonna have a good time. Well, we're closing this series out today, man. We've been in this series. This is our 5th week. I'm so excited. Oh man, I got to shout out. Bob is in the chat, man. Bob was traveling and got to actually meet up with Zernil and stuff like that. Just warms my heart when our global community, our national community, gets to meet up with each other. Like that's the thing. That's the whole thing about bridges, though, right? Like we're bridges. Like you gonna make a way. Don't make me go back to church now. We're gonna make a way. What ain't no way. That's what bridges are. We bridges. Everybody else talking about the troubled waters. We're the bridges over the troubled waters. Let me bring it back into something maybe, have you ever told somebody to say, when people just throwing rocks at you and you ever need some good advice, people throwing rocks at you. Let me tell you what you do with those rocks, baby. You build a bridge and you get over it. Y'all ain't ready. Okay, so let's jump into today. As the founder of Bridge City, I found myself fascinated with two industries, and this is just kind of giving you some insight into my neuro spicy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's right. Come on, Bridge. I love y'all. Y'all are amazing. I found myself fascinated with two industries as we continue to challenge, cultivate, and craft the culture of our community. I found myself fascinated with two industries, and that's travel and hospitality. Okay. Travel, because as a progressive or forward thinking community, our job isn't just to be a place to plug into, but we also bear responsibility of helping our members transition from where they are to where they desire to be. That's why we're Bridge City. We're not just a place, we're a passage. You get it? We're not just a place to go, we're a place to get you connected so you can go where you're trying to go. We're not just a place, we're a passage. So the travel industry, which is just getting people where they're trying to go, that has to like Delta Airlines isn't one plane, right? And that's how I see Bridge City in many ways. Like, we're not the plane, we're the airlines. Oh man, and see, like, I don't want to get into vision, but like this is something that sometimes people can't deal with, is that there are a lot of people who are flying Delta today who aren't necessarily going to the same destination. They just chose the same airline. So there are a lot of people who connect to Bridge City today who aren't necessarily aiming to get to the same places. They just chose the same community. Is that good, y'all? Okay, so travel, because they help people get places. They think about the best routes to help people get there. That's Bridge City is kind of obsessed with that. There are a lot of things to be upset with in the world. There are a lot of things to be mad with. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think there was ever a time in history where that was not the case. I don't think there was ever a time in history where it was not the case that there was something to be mad at. I mean, even before we started organizing, you know what I'm saying? And just be like, even before we started pulling ourselves together as societies, even before we started becoming more agrarian, it's like there's always something bad happening somewhere, no matter what the context is. At this moment, that's a part of me kind of moving out of superstition, is realizing like, oh yeah, there is not this predefined good or this pre-existing good. We are living in chaos, and chaos has been existing for a long time. Y'all don't want to talk to me. So there's a lot of bad things that are happening, but one of the values of Bridge City is that we are progressive thinking. We are forward thinking. So it's like, no, I know it's bad right here, but how do we get there? How do we move there? Okay, I know people are dealing with this. I know people are struggling with this. How do we help those people move forward? So travel industry is all about helping people get there. And I'm just talking about my little obsessions right now. We're going to jump into it. But the other industry that I'm just as fascinated with as thinking about the culture of Bridge City is hospitality. And that's because I don't just want you to get somewhere with us. I want people to enjoy every experience, every event, and every excursion as if it was crafted with their highest standards of care in mind. Like I've jokingly said, but seriously meant, that I want the Bridge City membership experience to feel like Disney World meets Saving the World. A place where saving the world doesn't feel like sacrifice, a place where we are victoriously making a difference while celebrating the lives of the people who are along for the journey. Like I don't want to rub anybody the wrong way, but when you come into Bridge City, when you're connected to Bridge City, when you're connecting to this community, I want this community to help you win. I want us to be victoriously making a difference. Do y'all understand that? Because I see a lot of people who want to make a difference, but they don't want to victoriously make a difference, which means I don't want to just play the game. I want to win. Y'all don't want to talk to me, and I don't want to just win for winning's sake. I want to celebrate the hell out of the wins that we are getting. I want Bridge City to feel like Disney World meets saving the world. I want this to be a place that our members are proud to be connected to, that every experience, every event, every excursion, that people were like, oh, that was amazing. That was top of that blew my mind. Disney World meets saving the world. You know, we're not always broke down and looking down and sad. No, we're winning. We're victoriously making an impact and celebrating the lives of the people who are along for the journey. Yes, we're making progress. Yes, we're exploring ways to move forward, but man, we're also enjoying the journey. You know, when you purchase a ticket, when you purchase an airplane ticket, you're signing up just as much for the experience as you are the destination. Yes, I want to get to my expected destination, but I also want to know, how will I be treated while we're on the way? What are the in-flight menu options? Do you provide in-flight entertainment? And I don't know if you've noticed, but Bridge City is starting to grow by leaps and bounds. And it's because of people who are jumping in, connecting, as Ashley said this morning in the news, because of people who are participating, that we can begin to provide more. So you see, the table is getting to is beginning to expand. What we're able to make available is beginning to expand, because more and more people are connecting and providing through participation. So it's like, what are the in-flight menu options? Well, we got Zernial on the team now, and so he's cooking a little bit, and you got Ashley on the team now, and she's cooking a little bit. Do you provide in-flight entertainment? Well, I don't know if you caught us earlier this year, if you caught us earlier this morning, if you caught us right before the pre-show, you would have heard some good Bridge City music to keep you uplifted without superstition. Will I be informed if there's a delay? Are you going to talk to me like I'm a human if something goes wrong? I don't just sign up for the destination, I also sign up for the experience. To be honest, like I don't fly American Airlines anymore, because I had a few bad experiences and a few delays to my destination. And don't get me wrong, I get that things happen. I'm a fairly reasonable person, if I can say so myself. But I get that things happen. The weather still does what the weather does, right? But what got me was watching, after several delays, and I mean delays that were announced late, like you don't find out that your plane ain't nowhere near until 5 minutes after your plane was supposed to be there. After multiples of these, what got me was the disregard for the cost to the customer. Oh man, it just boils my potato. Creflo's my dollar, Benny's my hens. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't traveling just because. Everybody's dates are not flexible. There were parents who were trying to make it to their children's weddings. There were people traveling for doctor visits, job interviews, and even deathbed situations. And I watched rep after rep after rep across the American Airlines hub in multiple cities respond with dismissive apathy. No, I'm sorry this is happening. No, I understand that this is hard. It almost felt like there was an internal competition on who could be the most detached from the human cost of disrupted expectations. Now, again, I get you can't change the weather, but you can always check your attitude. And if it had just been one or two reps at one airport that I saw this at, I could easily chalk it up to individual employee frustration. It's just a bad day and a busy shift. But because there were so many across multiple airports, I identified that as a culture issue. And for those of you that are note takers, this is a great place to write a note down. I should have put this on the screens, but I didn't. That's my bad. Culture is not measured by excellence when things go right, but by compassion when expectations collapse. I feel like I want to read it one more time. Culture is not measured by excellence when things go right, but by compassion when expectations collapse. The big point is that to me, how we get there is just as important as where we're going. You know, it's travel, yes, but it's also hospitality. You know what I'm saying? It's travel, yeah, that's what it is, but it's also hospitality. So if we're going to build Bridge City the way that it deserves to be built, we have to intentionally cultivate a culture of compassion, consideration, and concern for the people who are on this flight with us. I'll say it until I'm blue in the face. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. All right. So travel with me, and I'm still in the introduction. I hope this is helping somebody. I know this is, look, I promise you, we're going to get to you in a few. Travel with me. I'm still in the introduction. When I think of member experience in the context of Bridge City, I categorize it into three H's. And I want you to write these down if you can. Hospitality, how we welcome. Hospice, how we care. And hosting, how we present. All right. When I think about the member experience, I think about those three H's, right? Hospitality, how we welcome, hospice, how we care, and not just how we care when things go well, but also how we care when things break. You know what I'm saying? And then hosting, how we present and maintain culture. Y'all heard Ashley call out one of the clubs that we have that lets you get involved with the teams. It's the Weekend Warriors Club. That's pretty much the hosting club. And so you see Ashley's doing two hosting jobs right now. She's chat hosting and she did stage hosting this morning because she did our Bridge City News. You know what I'm saying? All right. See, that's how we present and maintain culture. Now listen, we're not all the way there yet. I'm not saying we've arrived, but my vision is that anytime you're with us, for as long as you're with us, you feel at home. And I take that so seriously that in my head, the internal team responsible for this already has a name. Y'all want to know what it is? They already got a name. The team that handles our hospitality, our hospice, our hosting, they'll be called homemakers. I know that's like I just come up with names like that. I'm creative like that. I like little stuff like that. Homemakers. And within those three areas of hospitality, hospice, and hosting, homemakers will be responsible for, you should guess the first one, homemaking, home warming. You got to make the home warm. You know what I'm saying? Homecoming, making people feel celebrated. Yes, right. Gladiators with suits on, and even home going, helping people transition. And then watch this one. And this is how we get into the conversation today. And watching out for home wreckers. Okay. All right. So okay, let's listen to this because we're talking about, look, I took you somewhere. We started with where my industries were, and I know y'all was like, why is he talking to us about industries he fascinated in? And we went from travel to hospitality, and now we're talking about, you hear me? Now we're talking about the hospitality and membership of Bridge City, but I'm about to bring this to your life. Because I told you when I think about this from hospitality, hospice, and hosting. And so our homemakers team, we don't have them yet, but I'm looking for them. We building them. Our homemakers team, they're going to be responsible for homemaking, home warming, homecoming, home going, and watching out for home wreckers. Trust me, I'm going somewhere. Now, traditionally, when we say home wrecker, yo, home wrecker. Have you ever been called a home wrecker before? Now, traditionally, When we say home wrecker, we think about the person who slides into taking spaces with no regard. Now, I ain't kink shaming. Get off me now. We think about people who are flirting with people in committed relationships. We think about people who are ignoring boundaries, people who are sowing discord, creating drama, secret messages, hidden conversations, no empathy for people who already built something before they showed up. Do y'all see how I did that? I'm gonna read it one more time because I want y'all to know what I'm doing. I'm building a bridge of contemporization. I'm taking a word that used to be used to shame the woman because, by the way, it takes two. Okay, y'all don't want to talk, but I'm taking a word that used to be used to shame women, and I'm about to make this thing do what it do. If y'all ain't used to me, I just want y'all to know I zig when you be thinking I'm about to zag. So now, traditionally, when we say home wrecker, we think about that person who slides into taken spaces with no regard. That person who is flirting with people in committed relationships, that person who is constantly ignoring boundaries, consistently sowing discord, for whatever reason, always creating drama. Their communication seems to be characterized by secret messages, hidden conversations, and they seem to have no empathy for the people who already built something before they showed up. In other words, home wreckers show up to disrupt the established plans. Okay. Now I bring this up, and now we're back in flight school. Welcome back. Welcome back. I bring this up because, in the context of community and life, home wreckers are hijackers. Okay. Home wreckers are hijackers. They are attempting unlawful interference with expected operations. Okay. So these are people with misaligned intentions, people in the wrong room for the wrong reason, people reacting out of fear, ego, or unresolved damage, people who refuse the destination, but for whatever reason decide to stay on the plane. You get a misaligned presence plus a misaligned purpose, and that's going to equal misaligned energy. And that leads us to the critical question of this whole conversation, the one question that reveals whether you're here to build or here to hijack. And this is a great place to drop today's title. Why are you here? Okay, go ahead and tap that in the chat if you bold and bougie. Go ahead. Why are you here? The old folks would look at you and say, "Who sent you?" No, why are you here? This is the question. Since we're closing out a series and closing out a year, I wanted to make sure we landed on a question that would help us interrogate our circles and explore ourselves. And the question of the weekend is, why are you here? If we were sitting in the same building, I'd have you like tapping like 5 people, just run around and tap 5 people and say, "What the hell you doing here? Can I get a hell yeah?" Can I get a jalapeno? Habanero. Okay, so why, excuse me, are you here? Why are you here? The end of the year is one of the best times to do an inventory check, not just on your goals, not just on your plans, but on the people in your circle, on your team, on your community, on anything and anyone that is consistently connected to your life. And the question, it isn't complicated, but it is critical. Why are you here? Mhm. Are we still headed in the same direction? Are you here because we're aligned, or are you here to disrupt my time? It's a fair question, ain't it now? Are you here on purpose, or are you here because you're frustrated, restless, or just looking for something to disrupt? Whatever the reason, if you're here, I need you to be clear on why. No, who sent you? Who sent you? How'd you get here? Now let me be clear. This isn't just a question we ask other people. This is a question we have to ask ourselves. I've been in plenty of rooms where I had to have the internal conversation with myself like, bruh, why are you here? Okay, everything about being here is aggravating the fuck out of you. Why are you here? You gonna complain about everything while you're here? Why do you keep coming? Y'all don't want to talk to me this weekend. No, what are you actually even contributing to the space? Why are you here? Are you aligned with where this is going, or are you just present? Because here's the truth. If you don't know why you're here, you will unintentionally hijack the places you enter. But when you understand your purpose, you can move with clarity, protect the destination, and stay in command even when you're not in control. Every environment you enter, every relationship, your communities, your teams, your movements has a direction and has a destination. Your presence is either aligned with that direction or interfering with it. Hijackers and home wreckers don't usually show up announcing themselves. They show up when people forget or misrepresent why they showed up in the first place. If the destination doesn't match your intention, you become a threat to the flight, not because you're evil, but because you're malaligned. People start hijacking spaces when they stop being honest about their purpose in the room. Why are you here? Most spaces don't get hijacked by bad people. They get hijacked by people who stop being honest about their purpose in the room. And this goes even deeper because every one of us carries potential hijackers inside of us. Excuse me. Every single one of us are carrying something on the inside of us. That hijacker could be your fear that every time something is getting ready to happen in your life, every time you're getting ready to participate in something, every time you're getting ready to take a step that you normally wouldn't take, that old fear tries to creep up and tries to hijack your flight. For other people, it might not be fear, it might be ego. For other people, it might not be ego, it may be distractions. For others, it may not be distractions, it might be that unprocessed trauma from your mama. Whatever it is, we all have hijackers that we gotta be on the lookout for. As a matter of fact, I dare you to go ahead and take 5 seconds right now to reflect over your 2025 and identify some things that hijacked your flight. Damn, there's the preacher right there. I'm sorry. Listen, I dare you to look back over 2025 and say, dang, I was going to hit this goal, but such and such hijacked my flight. I was headed in this direction, but dang, old good looking showed up. Goddamn, I was getting ready to do this, but no. If you don't learn how to spot those, they'll eventually take the controls. This is why member experience isn't just about vibes or aesthetics. It's about projecting and protecting culture. And protecting includes being able to identify when a hijacking is in progress. At the beginning of the year of 2026, the donors of Bridge City are going to receive a State of the City report that will include key stats, strategies, and scars from this quarter, the last quarter of 2025. And one of the slides is dedicated to nothing but culture. It's broken down into 3 categories: our pride points, our pain points, and our protection points. These are things that we are proud of as a community, things that are giving us a little pain as a community, and things that we want to protect the culture from. Okay, so a few of our pride points are we're definitely and finally developing a hands-on a core team, people who bring ideas that are in alignment with the vision that they can execute on. People who look for needs that they are uniquely able to feel, and who've shifted from just spectating to participating. So the way it feels for me, and I'm just going to be honest with you, I wouldn't be me if I wasn't honest. So I'm just going to be me and be honest. The way it feels to me like I've been pushing, like I have a Tahoe, and it's like let's say all of my tires on my Tahoe are flat. And so it's been like pushing it's like been pushing like my Tahoe uphill, and all the tires are flat. And there's been a lot of people like, man, this good stuff. You doing good. That's good work, Doc. You keep pushing. You just keep on. And then, but people like Ashley, people like Zernial, they've come in and they've like, I think I might want to help you push that. And so they've been kind of like helping me push. And I don't know if you've noticed, but like that makes a difference, right? That changes the energy. And right now it's still small stuff because it's just three of us, right? And we're still building the team. But now, because we're pushing together, it's so I got the hands-on core team, and because we're pushing together, since it's Kwanzaa, let me go ahead and pull a Swahili word. Since we're pulling it together, harambe, since we're pulling it together, since we're working on this thing together, it's positively impacting what the weekend energy. And that's the second pride point, is that we're starting to get a lot of really good energy around these Sunday sessions around the weekend. Like, flight school has felt different. And it ain't just because I'm so good at what I do. I've been good at what I do since I was 12 years old. Teamwork. All right, y'all better talk to me out there. Makes the dream work. Man, like, oh my goodness, this is why I'm trying to do my best to share as much information I can to set people free. Because let me tell you, the longer you sit there trapped in your trauma, the longer you sit there trapped in your drama, the longer you sit there trapped in your poverty, the longer you sit there trapped in anybody's victim chair, the longer you sit there, you are robbing the rest of us of your teamwork. And let me tell you something. I don't care what anybody else has said to you, said about you. Your participation is valuable. Your cooperation is necessary. As another human being sharing this planet, we need you at your best self. And so we need to be doing everything we can to put the tools in your hand so you could start mining the goodness that is you. Is this good? Okay. I hope this is helping somebody. It's not just because I'm good at what I do. It's because I've got other people who have now tagged in, all right, who have now tapped in, who have now connected, who are also good at what they do. And teamwork makes the dream work. And you ain't even seen all the Rangers in the Megazord yet. It's still only 3 of us in here, and we got room for like 35 more. No, y'all don't want to talk to me. We out here throwing uppercuts and they ain't connecting fully. Just wait till you see what it looks like when all of the Rangers are in the Megazord. The energy that you feel, it ain't just me. It's teamwork that makes the dream work. We're shifting from solo energy to team energy. Our weekend experience isn't designed to be a solo operation. It's designed to be a community. It's designed to be a community spectacle. It's combined to be something that brings us all together, that allows us to celebrate our skills, our values, and the things that we have to contribute. All right, now, so that's a couple of the pride points. But I also want to hit a few of the points of protection and tie them to the cultural pain points so that I can tie this back into today's conversation. So we're intentionally trying to protect our culture from a few things, okay? I should have put these on the screens. I didn't put these on the screens. I should have, but I didn't. One day, we'll have people who look over the notes and be like, oh, this need to be on the screens, okay? So a few things we're trying to protect the culture from. And many of these y'all have probably heard me mention in one way or another. The first one is savior complex. I think since I've started sharing content, I've been very clear. I'm not anybody. I'm not your Negro. Okay. I'm not your Negro. I'm not your hero. Don't put me on a pedestal. I will kick that motherfucker down. Okay. You don't know me like that. And that's not necessary. I know in the old paradigm of living, there was this almost like pedestal priority, a pedestal preference, where if anybody was going to be in any functional position, they needed to be elevated over other people. That day is dead. It is not necessary. Not only is it not necessary, it is not helpful. That paradigm does more to rob us of partners than anything else. That paradigm does more to rob us of teammates than anything else. That paradigm does more to rob us of members, of partners, of teammates, of people to work together with. So no, one of the things we're doing our best to protect the culture from is savior complex. No, Durante ain't got all your answers. I got all my answers because I had to go get them. Okay, I got all my answers. I don't have your answers. Like, even when I'm coaching people, I'm like, no, I don't know you to be able to give you a plan that's gonna fix your life. I don't know how fucked up you are. And because I'm a sociologist, I'm real enough to know you're not going to be honest with me about how fucked up you are. So we're not even gonna play that game. No, so no savior complex. Durante does not believe he's better than anybody else. I'm just you with a microphone right now. Durante does not believe that he has the master plan to anybody else's life. Well, the only thing that I have is that I have studied social movements. I've been a part of mega church growth architecture, and I believe my hypothesis is, if you will, is that if a few people work together to make impact, to make local impact, to help people who are close to them, if a few people start working together to create space where people can be their authentic selves, if a few people start working together, then we can actually change the world. And even if we can't change the world, here it is, we can build a bridge to a better one. Jalapeno, can I get a hell yeah out there? Austin 316 for everybody. So we try to protect the culture from savior complex, because savior complex leads to personality paralysis. So then can't nothing get done unless one person is here. And as a person who is a former Black nationalist, I will tell you that's what's killed many of the movements that were closest to my heart over and over and over again, because then all you had to do was kill one of us to stop the movement. But when we shift away from savior complexes, when we shift away from personality paralysis, then it doesn't, oh man, okay, I'm sorry, the revolution will not be televised. The second pain point we're trying to protect our culture from is outrage economy. Outrage economy, where we feed each other and we reward each other by how mad you is. Okay, let me tell you something about me. I'm mad all the damn time. That's my secret. I'm like the Incredible Hulk. I am mad all the damn time, but I want to know what you're gonna make that mad do. Okay, can you make the mad do something? So no, we try to protect the economy. Well, we're not rewarding you for how mad you are. No, how productive can you be? Okay. And the reason, let me tell you, the reason one of these things is very important to me is because then I watch people get caught up in rage overwhelm. And then what that does, it immobilizes you. You're so mad that you don't know what to do. You're so mad because listen, there's always going to be something to be mad about. There's always going to be there. So at some point, you've got to protect your sanity. And that's what community is for. Third one, trauma dumping and bonding. Oh man, it feels so good to just, especially when you're recently deconverted, it feels so good to pour and just talk about all the things that has been done to you and how bad it was. And the problem with that is that sometimes it leads to trauma bonding. And so the thing that we're bonded over is what hurt us, not what healed us. And so then this leads to consumption crisis. Okay. And this ain't even just for community. This is impacting us on a global level right now. Consumption crisis, where everybody is fix me, feed me, fuel me. Everybody's looking at somebody else to be their source of fixing, or their source of feeding, or their source of fueling. Those are things that we're protecting our culture from. And the last but not least, as far as Bridge City community, is debate culture. Because then it leads over to troll theism, where the only thing you want to do is troll Christians. And I'm like, but ain't none of them here. So who's going to help the people? So you sit in a room and you realize the trauma that everybody's is impacted by. You realize the trauma that everybody's dealing with. You realize, you start looking at the carnage that has been left behind by having to deconstruct and deconvert and deal with reality as is. And the thing that we all want to do is sit around and talk about it. No, I don't just want to talk about it. I want to do something about it. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going too far. Let's go. So there's a few. So the reason we try to protect the culture is that there are a few things that you got to understand. I'll kind of call it like the core. These are critical operational realities explained. This is the core. Community is not random. And here's something that'll help you. Neither are relationships. The same applies to relationships. Community is not random. Relationships are not random. All right, it's the end of the year. I'm doing an end of the year review on Wednesday. It's the end of the year. I want to ask you how many of you have taken inventory of your relationships to say, now, does this feel random or does this feel reasonable? Oh man, in February we're doing a series called Falling in Love with Reason, man. Does this relationship feel random? Or does this relationship feel reasonable? Oh, we got some places to go. So community is not random. People choose their environments. Purpose determines their fit. Misalignment creates harm. Malalignment creates havoc. Dang it. Misalignment creates harm. Y'all got to catch this. Malalignment creates havoc. Okay, this is going to be enough. This might save your whole 2026. Okay, do y'all remember when Ruben Studdard won American Idol and did his little album? He was doing good, and then he ruined his whole career. This was my sorry for 2004. For whatever reason, he was apologizing in advance. And so while other people are apologizing in advance, I just gave you a nugget, just a little bit of nugget, a nugget of wisdom that might save your whole 2026. Okay. Misalignment creates harm. Malalignment creates havoc. Okay. When I say misalignment creates harm, I'm talking about moments where people are out of sync, right? It happens. They're out of sync, but they're still acting in good faith. Misalignment is when intentions don't quite match direction, when expectations aren't fully clear, when timing, capacity, or understanding is off a little bit. It's uncomfortable, it can hurt feelings, it can slow things down, but usually that's fixable. Usually that's correctable. Malalignment is different. Malalignment is when someone knows the direction, knows the destination, and chooses to move against it anyway. That's when things stop just being difficult and start becoming destructive. Because malalignment isn't confusion, it's contradiction. Oh, I hope I'm helping somebody recognize some malalignments in your life. As soon as this stream is over, you're gonna have to text some people and say, hey, why are you here? Why are you here? Because like you just don't like none of my ideas or nothing. Why? Okay, we're gonna go there. Because malalignment, again, it isn't confusion, it's contradiction. It's staying in a space while trying to pull it somewhere else. It's remaining on the plane while rejecting the destination. It's insisting on access without agreement. And that's where the havoc shows up. Not because people are trying to destroy things, but because opposing attentions in the same system create chaos by default. That's why clarity matters. That's why purpose matters. And that's why asking, why are you here, isn't about exclusion. It's about protection. In aviation, hijacker protocol doesn't activate because someone feels uncomfortable. It activates because someone observes behavior that signals an unlawful interference with the flight plan. And that protocol only works if people know what to look for and are willing to name it. This is an excellent place to drop today's conversation's first big question, and that is, do you know what to watch for? I should have did this last Sunday. We could say, do you see what I see? Okay, anyway, do you know what to watch for? If we're going to protect the culture, we have to know what to watch for. Not vibes, not rumors, not personalities we don't like, patterns. Okay. In aviation, hijacker protocol, again, doesn't activate just because someone feels uncomfortable. Like one of the things that bothers me, like it's something I don't like. And this was happening to me earlier this year. Somebody would always come up to me to tell me who they don't like, and it was actually like 2 or 3 different people that if they saw me on someone else's channel, they'd be like, yeah, you should I don't like them. I just get a bad vibe about them. Please don't bring stuff like that to me. Number one, I graduated high school in 2004. So please don't bring your bad vibes about other people to me. Keep your juju to yourself, okay? I don't like that. So all right, and no, like literally, and I'm not just saying that on the stage to be on the stage. I've literally told people that, like I've had to tell somebody because I had someone earlier this year. They were coming to me about several different people. I just don't like this person. I just get bad vibes about this person. And I'm like, ooh, these are not a few of my favorite things. And so I said, hey, that's weird that you even telling me that, because I don't even know what to do with that information. Like, please don't do that. So when we talk about knowing what to watch for, we're not just talking about, oh, you're uncomfortable. We're talking about observable behavior that signals unlawful interference with the flight. This is true in our lives and our communities. Okay. So it starts with behavior observation. Unusual crew or passenger behavior, energy that doesn't match the moment, actions that don't align with the stated purpose, not different, not new, not even just strange, disruptive. You know, that I'm getting tired if I get to the word disruptive, all right. Things get disruptive. So watch disruptive. So here are a few patterns. And again, these are things you can apply to community and you can apply to your life. Number one, attempting to distract with discontentment. So this is when someone is consistently unhappy in a space they chose to enter. My wife and I watched this show called Caught in the Act, and it's with Tammy Roman. And people come to Tammy Roman and they be like, oh, I think such and such is cheating on me, but I'm not sure. And Tammy be like, oh, you think they cheating? And like it'd be like, if you thought they were cheating well enough to come on the show, you probably know they cheating. You just want the evidence at this moment. But anyway, they go to, and they got all these couples, and and they view them and they catch them. Caught in the Act, that's the name of the show, and they catch them. And one of the things that I'll begin to notice about a lot of the people is that you will have people in a relationship, and when they're showing like some of the footage of catching the people, it's like the person is consistently unhappy in a space that they're choosing to be in. They're not offering solutions. They're not seeking alignment. They're just spreading dissatisfaction, So at that moment, like, no, this is a red flag that someone's trying to create a problem. And at some point, you have to ask the honest question. Y'all ready? You ready? Okay. Oh, we're going to be grown-ups today. If you're not happy here, why are you here? Oh, no. Why did you choose to be? Oh, goodness. Because that's what freedom feels like. Remember, I told you earlier, I said, I've been in plenty of rooms that I had to have a conversation with myself where I realized, I think I've said earlier in this series, you got to be able to recognize when you're the odd man out. I'm the only one here complaining. Everybody else like this bullshit. At this moment, I'm trying to hijack their stuff. And what that is, that's carryover behavior from when you felt like you had to be locked in to other people's stuff. But instead, I have the freedom to realize, like, oh no, this just ain't for me. This ain't, I have the freedom to get up and go. You got it? So if you're not happy here, why are you here? You have the freedom of choice. What do you gain by trying to disrupt the contentment of others instead of choosing a space that bets? I hope this is helping somebody. Discontentment becomes dangerous when it's used as a tool to redirect energy. All right, but that's the first one. Okay, these are patterns. These are about patterns. We're talking about patterns for recognizing hijackers. The second one is attempting to access without authorization. All right. Why you here? Why you want that? what you trying to, years ago, but this back in my Christian preaching days, years ago, I used to tell people, be very careful when someone is always trying to get information from you, but never giving information about themselves. Like I've always kind of believed in balance. I was a big balance person. And so, and that's stuff I've just had to learn. And so, sometimes people can want influence and visibility and control in your life without qualifying for that. And some of you, oh, damn, I'm sorry, I'm about to step on some toes. Some of you have such an issue valuing yourself that you don't even make people qualify to have influence in your life. You don't even make people qualify to have visibility in your life. You don't even make people qualify to have control in your life. Anybody just show up in your life and all of a sudden they got influence, visibility, and control, and there is no process. And that's probably why you sitting there thinking like, well, I ain't got no hijackers in my life, because everybody is a hijacker in your life. No, what is the like? No, like, oh my goodness, I started doing this when nobody knew my name. I tell you, I published my first book 2014, and in that book, I wrote that I'd stop answering my phone, and I've been committed to that. Save so much time, become so much more productive, and I've become much more strict about who's in my circle, who's in my space, who I share time with, who I hold relationship with. Why? Now, because I value myself. And everybody don't understand that. And I'm like, listen, just because you don't value you the way that I value me does not mean I'm going to lower my standards of value for me. My standards are for me and your standards are for you. But if I can give you some advice, baby, putting a process in your life for making, for finding a way to see if people qualify to influence you will change your life. Okay. These are people who bypass structure, they ignore boundaries, they treat access like entitlement. But access in healthy systems is earned, not seized. This is why I had stopped answering my phone in 2014, because people treated access to my number like entitlement. Like people, especially when I first stopped answering, people would like treat me like they wanted to fight me because I didn't answer my phone for them, because access had become entitlement instead of earned. And for me, it was a problem because what I realized is when people get me on the phone, I'd be on the phone for hours. You know what I'm saying? If I answered 3 phone calls, that's 6-7 hours of my day gone. Talking about bullshit, nothing. And y'all, damn, I'm. Oh my goodness, this is getting good. And what I realize is that, ooh, you do this all day. You don't have anything that you're trying to work on. You don't have anything yet that you're trying to move forward in your life. And so you can afford to talk on the phone for 4 hours. God damn it, I'm a man on a mission. I ain't got time to waste. And I realized that nobody else was ever going to treat me that way. I was going to have to start valuing myself accordingly. I hope that little commercial break just helps somebody. So, access in healthy systems is earned, not seized. There's a process for a reason, not to exclude people, but to protect the flight. I need to make sure that we're going to the same direction. I need to make, if you're getting on this plane, I hope you're going to that destination because that's where I'm headed now. And this doesn't just show up in communities, it shows up in our personal lives too. This is what it looks like when someone wants intimacy without trust. Like, I don't even know you. You know what I'm saying? When someone wants commitment with consistency, without consistency. When somebody wants results without discipline. You know, have you ever been in this place? And we've all been there. Just go and tell the truth. Tell the truth, shame the bullshit. Let's just tell the truth. You ever been there where you're like, I tried everything? I tried everything. Or maybe you were a little more narcissistic. Maybe you were a little more like me. I did everything right. There's two types of people in this world. Those are the types of people who tried everything and the types of people who said, I did everything right. But you ever been there? You know? And the truth of the matter is, if you allowed yourself to go back, and look at some of those things, like, I didn't try for real. I didn't put my all in it. I wanted the results without the discipline. It's when we want access to outcomes we haven't prepared ourselves to handle. We want the title without the training, the influence without the integrity, the closeness without the work. And just like in a community, skipping process in your personal life doesn't make you efficient. It makes you fragile, because process isn't punishment. Process is protection. You know, I grew up playing Mario Brothers. Love Mario Brothers. I still play Mario Brothers today. Every now and then I'll pull it up on my computer, because you can play old games on your computer now, and that's just like cool. Excuse me. And that's like so cool to me. So I like Mario Brothers, doom, 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 doom. See, now if this was a live experience, if this was a live experience, the band would have just popped that off. I'm gonna have to give me some water or something. But the band would have just popped that off. But I love Mario Brothers. But as a kid, I didn't own a console. I just had to go over my other friend's house and play one, or my cousin's house or something and play one. And so I never really got to get good at the games. And so I'd suck really bad. And so I'd be glad that I can get past the first stage, and then you go into the second stage. And the second stage, the blue stage, y'all remember that? I hated I hated that stage, right? I hated it. And so I got to the point where I learned how to cheat that stage. I learned how to cheat that stage. And then eventually, as I cheated the stage, I realized I sucked at all the stages that came after it, because process isn't punishment. It's protection. It wasn't until I had to learn how to go through that second stage that I qualified to be at the third stage. I picked up the necessary skill sets in the second stage that qualified me for that third stage. You know what I'm saying? Nostalgia is a hell of a drug, right? The process is protection. It protects you from getting somewhere your character cannot sustain. It protects relationships from collapsing under pressure. It protects your future from versions of you that haven't grown up yet. You know what I'm saying? So whether it's a community, a career, a relationship, or your own healing, access without process isn't progress. It's interference. Oh, that's good. Oh shit. I feel like that can save some lives. I gotta say it. I have to say that again because I feel like that can save some lives. Access without process isn't progress, it's interference. I got to watch Allison Mack. She went on Michael Rosenbaum's podcast, Inside of You. And I don't know if you know who Allison Mack is. Allison Mack played Chloe on the Smallville CW show. She played Chloe. Okay, that's who she was. I don't know if y'all watch Smallville. I watched Smallville. Michael Rosenbaum was the best Lex ever. All right, so now that we've gotten that out the way, she joined a cult. The cult was called Nexum. It was led by a guy who was supposed to be a genius. And that cult apparently did a bunch of stuff that they do in fraternities and sororities, like they brand each other stuff and do a bunch of weird stuff. Anyway, she had to do some prison time. It was bad. It was bad. She had to do some prison time. And so she came out, and Michael Rosenbaum, her former castmate, does an podcast with her and just allowing her to talk, which this was major because fans felt betrayed, which is, to me, that's a problem with American consumer culture. You don't know her. She didn't betray you. She betrayed some folks, but she didn't betray you, okay? Stop vicariously living through the folks she betrayed. That's a weird place to live vicariously through anyway. You should get that checked out. But anyway, so they're sitting there and they're talking. Yep, it was a blonde lady. That's her. That's her. And so she's talking, and she says, and Michael asked her, he said, "Do you have any advice from people?" And she's for people, and she said, "Yeah, just make sure people are qualified to mess with your mind. Don't let people be messing with your mind who aren't qualified." And I realized, like, that's what a lot of those cultic systems do. They claim to have all of these deep revelations and these deep understandings of things using a fugazi language, if you will. And what they're really fucking with is psychology and sociology, and what she shared from her being one of the people who had got wrapped up into doing this, into leading this, into helping doing this. She said, if I can give any advice to people who are trying to protect themselves, make sure people are qualified to give you advice. Make sure people are qualified to help you in these ways. So access without process isn't progress, it's interference. So you hear somebody trying to give you some advice on how that you're going to rewire your magical neurons. Like, no, who are you? Why are you here? Who sent you? Because this isn't progress, it's interference. There's a process to go through to get the access that you're trying to go through. All right, now here's the third pattern. Attempting to disrupt the direction. Now, this is the clearest signal. There's a stated direction. There's a communicated destination. The plan is not hidden. So when someone consistently pulls against that direction, questions the destination itself, or tries to reroute the flight mid-air, the question isn't why are they frustrated? The question is, if this isn't where you were trying to go, why are you here? In the last episode that my wife and I watched of the home wrecker show Caught in the Act, there were two females together, and they were gonna get IVF, and then all of a sudden the other person in the relationship started pulling in a different direction, begins questioning the destination itself. They're trying to reroute the flight mid-air, and the other person doesn't catch. Baby, they have changed their mind about where they are trying to go. And you're thinking, oh, it's just a frustration that I can fix. And it's like, no, this isn't a frustration. This is a destination misalignment. Oh my goodness. Sometimes you can begin trying to force yourself in other people's lives and other people's situation. You're trying to force them to realign instead of recognizing that they're going the other way. See, like when you really start asking the why are you here question, when the misalignment shows up, it's really hard to tell who's the hijacker in the situation. Am I hijacking you or you hijacking me? Because like, why you here though? All right, disagreement is healthy, but persistent redirection is interference. From a transponder code, let me get my words out. Pilots are instructed to squawk transponder code 7500, which is the universal signal for unlawful interference or a hijacking in process. So this are in progress. So this is what I want to ask you. What is your internal signal when something is wrong? What is your signal for when you're experiencing or when you're witnessing an unlawful interference? How do you signal to others that you're experiencing something? How do you signal to others that you're experiencing a hijacking in progress? Many of you are going to be making resolutions this upcoming week that will operate like your 2026 flight plan. What is your plan if your plane gets hijacked? Who can you signal for support? When signals are sent clearly, support can show up quickly. All right. All right. So this brings us to our second question of the day. Are y'all ready? And I got to roll. I done took up your time. We got to go. Do you know what to do? Once interference is identified, the goal is not panic. The goal is protection. Modern aviation protocols, especially those established after 9/11, shifted the priority. The focus is no longer on confronting the hijacker, it's on reinforcing the cockpit. Now, this blew my mind. It's no longer on confronting the hijacker, it's on reinforcing the cockpit. Why? Watch this. It's not about protecting the pilot, it's about protecting the flight. And that distinction matters because in life, in leadership, and in community, the most important work isn't fighting every threat. It's guarding what matters most. And for somebody, that was the little nugget of wisdom you needed right there. The most important thing isn't fighting every threat, it's figuring out what you need to protect and making sure you're guarding what matters the most. A reinforced cockpit is a boundary. It's a decision point, a refusal to hand the controls over to fear, to ego, to chaos, or distraction. So let's make it personal for a minute. Forget community, forget teams, forget relationships. How committed are you to protecting your flight? How committed are you to protecting your purpose, your direction, your future? Where are you trying to go? And how committed are you to getting there? Because, like, I get excited about working with people who are serious about where they're going. When someone knows their destination, it makes sense why we're on the same plane. I get excited about working with people who are committed to their flights and their destinations because then it makes sense. Come on now, why we're on the same plane. I love that I'm on the same plane with Zernial Shackelford. When he and I talk, when I hear what he wants to do, when I hear what his dreams are, when I hear what his visions are, it makes sense of why we're on the same plane. When I hear what he wants to do in media and I know what I want to do in media, when I see why he stands up for community and I know why I stand up for community, when I see why he doesn't believe the bullshit and I see why I don't believe the bullshit, it makes sense to me why we're on the same plane. I didn't have to convince him. Oh man, this is getting good. I don't have to convince him to be on my plane. He doesn't have to convince me to be on his plane. We're on the same plane because we're headed in the same direction. I hope this is helping somebody. In 2026, spend less time. Oh, this is good. In 2026, we're going to spend more time seeing who's going in the same direction. Spend less time convincing and more time comparing directions. Yeah. I love this. Now, in an actual hijacking situation, passengers are instructed to prioritize personal safety. All right. Stay calm, follow instructions, don't escalate unnecessarily, and work with the crew. Why? Because not every disturbance requires a fight, and not every conflict deserves your energy. The goal is always the same: preserve life, protect the flight, resist the urge to fight unless the flight itself is threatened. And that applies to your life too. Not every disagreement is an emergency. Not everybody that shows up even has the potential to hijack your flight. Not every trigger is a threat. Not every disruption deserves a response. Sometimes the wisest move is staying regulated and letting trained systems do their work. And this is where community becomes an asset, not a liability. When a pilot signals distress, air traffic control doesn't interrogate them. They don't ask for explanations. They don't question motives. They give priority handling. They clear space. They provide support, and they help the flight land safely. That's what healthy community does. When signals are clear, people around you know how to respond when you're under pressure. So here's the real work of this moment. How do you respond when life gets hijacked? When fear tries to take the controls, when trauma hijacks the room, when anger, loss, or chaos shows up unannounced, as it so often does, when someone else tries to redirect the flight that you're on, do you reinforce the cockpit or do you hand over the controls? Do you know what to protect when things go wrong? And this leads me to my final question of the conversation. Do you know what to ask? Do you know what to ask? Why are you here? That's the question that each of us have to ask and answer in any endeavor, whether it be a friendship, partnership, business, and even community. That if you're here and you're hearing me, what you here for? Why you here for? If you're here, why are you here? What is it that brings you here? Why you keep coming back here? Why you keep showing up here? Why are you here? What is it about the direction and the destination that has you here? That's not just a question for identifying hijackers. It's the one question that keeps us all from becoming hijackers. Why am I here? And if I don't like the direction, where do I want to go? Where am I trying to get to? And what plane do I need to be on to get there? And maybe even that is just a connecting flight. You see, the question, why are you here, is not just a question of purpose. It's a question of direction. It's an opportunity to get everyone recalibrated and realigned with the flight plan. I learned how to recognize when I was the hijacker in the room almost a decade ago. Actually, maybe even a little longer. This is why I dismiss myself from rooms before I ever attempt to disrupt someone else's destination. I just recognize that, you know what? I don't think we're headed in the same direction. And if I stay around here, I'm going to start aggravating you as much as you're aggravating me. And that's going to get problematic real quick. And there is way too much space on this planet for that. This is why people can't guilt me into a relationship. I'm like, no, there's like 8 billion people on the planet. Okay. There's plenty of space and plenty of options. That's why stories like, and I don't even know if it was a real story. You catch yourself doom scrolling and you come across something, but I came across a story. It just kept popping up in my feed about Money Long. And I don't even know if I'm pronouncing her name right. I think that's right. but apparently she is a rapper of some sorts. Uh, you'd be surprised about how much I don't know, but but there was a story shared, and I mean, it hit so hard. You know, she talked about how J. Cole, who at one time was one of my favorite rappers, man, uh, how J. Cole quietly left the studio session without explanation. Comes in, he's sitting down, they're supposed to be working on something together. Conversation gets started. Everybody's doing their thing. In the middle of it, he gets out, walks out, gets up, walks out, no explanation. There's no drama, no critique, no disruption. Now, obviously, she was confused, like, what happened? But later she realized why. The conversation took a turn, and it was a turn that she was used to, and her crew was likely used to, and her other people was on there that was likely used to. But it was a type of a conversation that he knew he didn't want to be a part of. And so watch this. Instead of taking his disgruntlement and turning it into disruption, he determines he's not going to be the hijacker in the room. Oh my goodness. He knew his presence at that moment didn't serve the direction of the room. That kind of self-awareness is rare and it's powerful. And while this is a powerful question to expose hijackers and even home wreckers and others and in ourselves, it's also a powerful question in exploring ourselves and how we're navigating our personal journeys. As someone said earlier, it's a fair question to ask. Why am I here? And it creates room for 3 powerful alignment questions. What attracted me to this? What do I want from this? And how do I plan on getting it from this? All right. That's what, why am I here? Why are you here? When you ask about it, why are you here? What attracted you to this? What do you want from this? And how do you plan on getting it from this? When you ask yourself, why am I here? What attracted me to this? What do I want from this? And what do I plan on getting out of this? This applies to anything. What do I want out of life? What do I want out of my relationships? What do I want out of my career? Nobody else gets to choose that for me. I have the right and the responsibility to choose what I want. What do I want out of my education? What do I want from my community? That's where I want to land our plane today, with the question for all of us as we close out the year and get ready to make our commitments for our 2026 flight plan. Can I ask you, of all of the places you could be right now, why are you here? I want you to really reflect on that. What attracted you to this? What do you want from this? And get honest with yourself and give yourself permission to name it, no matter how small or big, no matter how unrealistic you may feel it is. What is it that you expect to get from this? Maybe you expect to get a little accountability from community. Maybe you expect to get opportunity to expand in your understanding and your knowledge and your wisdom in your relationships with others. Maybe you're expecting to get an opportunity to expand your skill sets, to work in your talents, to provide your art. What is it that you're expecting to get out of this? Maybe you're expecting to become a little bit of a better person, to heal a little bit, to shake off some trauma. What is it? What is it? What is it? And how do you plan on getting it? If that question is doing some work on you right now, that might be your invitation to join this wonderful community and get connected to others who are headed in a similar direction. Whether it's a connecting flight or the long haul, I think you're here for a reason. And I want you, in the best interest of yourself, to get the most out of your journey with us. Thank you for hanging out with us. Stay tuned for the next steps. All right, Bridge City, what a conversation. If today's session gave you clarity, energy, or a new way of seeing things, I want you to know this: Sunday sessions are just the beginning. They're the front door, not the whole house. Beyond this weekly gathering, Bridge City is a growing global campus with conversations, events, clubs, training, and collaborative spaces designed to help people connect better, build better, and live better together. What's emerging there isn't passive content, it's an active community. And our clubs in particular have become places where connection turns into collaboration and ideas start becoming real. Now, what you do next matters, because moments like these don't just inform us, they invite us. They surface something in us that says, I don't want to do life the same way anymore. And moments like that, they matter. Not because they feel good, but because they ask us a question. What am I going to do with this? Bridge City exists for people who are tired of navigating the world alone. People who want more than content, more than commentary, more than another place to observe from the sidelines. This is a community for people who want to belong somewhere honest, thoughtful, and human, where growth happens in relationship, not isolation. So this isn't an invitation to watch more or scroll deeper. This is an invitation to join a community, to be known, to be challenged, to be supported, to build something meaningful with people who actually care. If today's session resonated with you, if you felt clarity, relief, curiosity, or even discomfort, that's not accidental. That's the signal. And joining Bridge City is how you respond to it. It's how you move from being inspired on a Sunday to being connected throughout the week. So whether you're here to rest, explore, or help build, there's a place for you in Bridge City. And honestly, this is a meaningful moment to join. We're still early, still shaping, and still building the global team that'll carry this forward. Scan the QR code or head to the link on the screen. That's your on-ramp into the wider community. And let me say this clearly. Thank you. This community exists because people choose to show up, engage, and support what we're building together. If you value these conversations and believe in the work we're doing as a global community, I invite you to consider supporting Bridge City today. Your contributions help make this space accessible, sustainable, and growing. The donation link is in the chat and the QR codes are on the screen for anyone who's willing and able to contribute. Support here isn't about pressure, it's about participation. Thank you for joining us for this week's Sunday session. I truly hope today's conversation stayed with you and gave you something to carry forward. Join us again next weekend, and if you feel moved, invite a friend or even consider hosting a watch party as we continue this series together. If today's talk resonated with you, let us know in the comments. And as always, tell us where you're watching from. We're already building in Los Angeles, Atlanta is on the way, and your city could very well be next. All right, community, that's all for today. Have a people-centric, forward-thinking kind of week. Until next time, keep rising and be the bridge.
Winter's upon us, but spring is coming. Seasons change, yeah, but we still remain. Hold on to goodness, for there is shelter when we all work to find a way. When times are getting hard and days are getting dark, we can make it if we all work. You don't know what else to do, but we will make it through. And there's a simple truth: if we all work, we'll find a way. Winter's upon us,
and we all work to find